Are you playing double dutch with your future because fear has you in a chokehold? Well, today I'm going to talk about how me and my husband landed our first property and how fear almost cost us 50 grand. So stick around. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thanks for stopping by. I'm Gia, a wife, mom, real estate investor, and a transitioning workforce professional. Today, we are going to talk about fear, okay? So, me and my husband, we have done all of the basics, right? We are super excited. We got our business bank account, we got our LLC, we registered with the state, we got money, we are ready to go, right? Everything is set up, and then it's like, what's next? We got to go find us a property. Like, it's really happening. Like, we're excited. We already checked all the boxes. Again, we checked all the, got our LLC registered, got our bank account. We applied for business funding. We got our credit cards, and it's like, oh wow, it's really happening. Like, we have now reached the point where we actually have to invest. We immediately went from excitement and, accomplishments to it's time to actually execute. And that feeling instantly went from excitement to scared straight. Oh my goodness, it's happening. And as exciting as one would think it would be, the fear, the analysis paralysis, the imposter syndrome, all of that started to trickle in and started to take over. We are going to be rich. We're going to be building generational wealth. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. Instantly turn into, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if we fail? What if we, aren't successful at this? Like, what if we lose all of this money? Like, what if it just doesn't work out? It started to literally take over our minds, and it had us in a place of being stuck, but only for a short period of time. We understood that our words and our thoughts are powerful. And we understood like that just as we stated we were going to be real estate investors and we were able to set up ourselves up to this point without any hicks or bumps in the road, what would be any different from us going from phase 1 to phase 2 of actual execution, right? But that's the power that fear tries to have on you. And we immediately had to get it under control because we knew that our wants and desires was much more greater and much more grander than what fear was trying to put into our spirit and into our mind and into our speaking, the words that we were speaking, right? So we immediately combated that through prayer and through fasting. We knew that God had gotten us up to this point. He made resources available. He gave us knowledge. Now, we didn't have all the knowledge, but we had enough to get started. And so once we started to sit down and really recognize what God had given us, we decided, you know what? Fear got to go. You got to go. You do not belong here, and we are going to propel and move forward accordingly. And that's what we did. We were just starting out, so we didn't have a foundation. We didn't have a network of people that we could talk to. We didn't have a blueprint in terms of, exactly what to do step by step, but we knew we had resources and we knew that we had knowledge. We knew that we were intelligent people and that we could figure this out. And that's exactly what we did. So my husband got on the phone and he started making calls. I got on the phone and we started making calls. We started having conversations with people in the areas that we were looking to invest. And the first thing we decided is that we needed to build a team. I'll talk about your team in another video, but the first person or the first team player we knew that we needed for us to get started was a realtor. Okay? A realtor had access to the MLS. A realtor had access to people in general in terms of those looking to sell their home. So we knew that we needed a realtor, and a realtor that was investor friendly in our pocket. We knew that we needed them to be part of the team. And so we started making phone calls to people that we knew were realtors and people that we knew people that were realtors. Okay? And that's where it started. One of our good friends, a friend of a friend, introduced us to a realtor who identified a property almost immediately. When I say almost immediately, I want to say about 30 days after we really started having conversations and trying to get people getting the word out of what we were doing. About 30 days in, this realtor friend found a property that was off market, and it was a motivated seller. It immediately started to check the boxes in terms of what we were looking for. We knew that, one, we needed a motivated seller. We knew that the property that we were going to be working on needed to be off market, because when you're selling on the MLS, they want maximum retail price, right? Off market, there's a lot more negotiating room, because we know that most times these houses don't even essentially qualify for being on the MLS because it needs work, right? And so she found us the perfect property as a first-time investor. This property cost us $75,000. The property list price was $75,000. After we included all the closing costs, you have to pay the realtor, title fees, appraisal fees, inspection, all of that. We ended up investing about 80 grand to acquire this property. This property needed some work, but it wasn't in a disastrous state, okay? We didn't have to tear down walls. We didn't have to take it all the way to the studs. This wasn't what you would consider a full gut. This house really just needed some TLC and some cosmetic updates. We went in with this house. We invested $80,000, like I said, for acquisition. And based on the work that it needed, we invested another $23,000 to bring it to where it needed to be from an aesthetic standpoint. It had solid bones. We had an inspection done, so there weren't any issues with termites or rodents. There wasn't any issues with leaking. We did have to replace the roof. And we made some major updates to the kitchen and to the bathrooms. We were able to convert a pantry into a laundry room, because it was just more functional in terms of who our ideal buyers were at the time. And total, we ended up putting just a little over $100,000 into this property, full blown. Property took us exactly 95 days to get completed, and we were able to put the house on the market and sell it for $189,000. Now you do the math. $100,000 that we spent all in for this house. We bought it for $80,000, put another $23,000, and a little over $100,000. If we would have allowed fear to get into the middle of that, there wouldn't be a Crawford Capital Investment. We would have never even gotten started, because we would have allowed fear to stop us in our track. I'm so glad that we were able to not do that. I'm so glad that we were able to denounce the idea of failing. Sometimes you have to do it scared. In my case, I didn't have to do it alone because my husband is my business partner. But in some cases, you have to do it alone, right? The point of the matter is you just never know what the blessing is on the other side if you don't take the leap of faith. We took the leap of faith. We took our time. And the reason why I think it's important for me to share that the house was only $75,000 is because we weren't trying to be the HGTV kings and queens, stepping out into the real estate world. We were new at this, brand spanking new. We didn't know exactly everything to do with renovating a home, but what we knew was we weren't ready to knock down walls, and we definitely weren't ready to change floor plans. We had to crawl before we could walk. And so we took baby steps. We were fearful, but that fear was combated by making reasonable and obtainable goals. We knew that we weren't in a space where we could purchase a $200,000 house, put another $200,000 in it, and then sell it for, $600,000, $700,000. We knew we weren't in a space like that because we were just starting out. And while there are real estate moguls to take after, to take notes, to be inspired by, you have to start at a point. You have to meet people where they are. We had to meet our project where we were, and we weren't ready for that type of buy box, is what we refer to it. Our buy box had to be small. It had to be attainable. A lot of people deter themselves from taking the next step because they're trying to do too much too soon. You have to pace yourself. You have to pace yourself because this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And at this point, I'm not even talking about real estate. I'm talking about real estate, but I'm not just talking about real estate. You have to give yourself some grace, and you have to be realistic with your goals, right? You have to write things down. You have to identify what it is that you're working with. What is it that I can achieve? What can I attain? And does this even make sense? Do I have the resources to achieve the goal that I'm trying to accomplish, or do I need to scale back? And that's what we did. The threshold when you're flipping houses, especially when you're getting started, is that you want to yield at least a $20,000 profit. Well, in our case, we yielded a little over 55. Once we paid off our overhead in terms of our credit cards, the closing fees, and so forth, we yielded a profit of a little over $50,000. So I say this to say, again, when you are fearful of the unknown, take a step back. Get in tune with yourself. Get in tune with whatever it is that you believe in, because you've gotten this far and you weren't brought this far for no reason, right? Get in tune with that. Figure out exactly where you want to go. Sometimes you have to take smaller bites in order to achieve exactly where you want to go. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So your pace may start off a little slow. Your pace may start off a little low. Your buy box may start off a little low. I have no issues. I am not embarrassed, or I don't feel any type of way saying that our first project cost $80,000. We put in a little over $20,000 and then sold it for $189,000. Because I understand where I am. I understand where we are when it comes to our buy box and what we can achieve and what we can attain. I understand that, and I'm okay with that. Stay in your lane. We stayed in our lane, and we've been staying in our lane. Now our lane is starting to transition, and I'm perfectly fine with that as well. But understanding that you have to start somewhere. People want to just start, and you want to start and you want overnight success. You want to become a millionaire overnight. Well, guess what? It eventually happened overnight. It just ain't happening tonight. Is that a bar? That's not a bar. But in all seriousness, I really hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope you found some inspiration in it. And I hope that you stay tuned for the next one. Bye.